Can you see the recording on the screen? Perfect. Well, good evening, everybody. And I know it's evening here in the US. Australians, it's still afternoon, and we're just glad that you could join us. I want to say I'm excited about tonight because there's so many great things that I get to share with you and to tell you about that are coming in the future. So this is a class for you. Every month, we do a free class like this. And I'm going to tell you about next month because I'm very excited about what it's going to be about. But we want to make sure that you take out a pen and paper so you get lots of notes tonight. Having notes is going to make a difference. So we have a lot of Color Street people on here tonight and other companies well represented. Rhode Island is here. A lot of Rhode Island. That's good. And McAlpin, Florida. Thank you, June, for joining us. Michigan, a lot of Canadians. So good folks here with us tonight and got a lot of fun things to do together. So I'm going to get this party started. So tonight's call is Take Back Your Time. How many of you would like to have more time every day? Anybody? That's a big hand. Thank you, Julie. So if you want more time, that we all have the exact same amount of time. It's how we use that time. And what I'm going to be talking about tonight is systems that are going to allow you to get more value from the time you have. So how simple systems can increase the profitability of your home-based business. How many of you would like to be more profitable? Even if you're driving, you can wave your hand. Okay, good. That your neighbors think you're waving at them, Diane, when you wave now. That's it. So just know that you can take back some of that time, and you can take some of that time back when you have simple systems and duplicatable systems. Remember, I will never tell you this business is easy. It isn't easy. It's a business and it's work. But guess what? When you have simple, duplicatable systems, you're going to accomplish more and you're going to make more money and you're going to serve more people. And that's what it's all about. My name is Nikki Keohoho. Try saying that backwards 5 times. Keohoho. And it's a Hawaiian name. I have a fabulous husband that I love to this day. And I live in Hawaii and it's beautiful where I live. And today I'm in Gainesville, Georgia. I'm going to be out here for a conference, a couple of conferences and events on the East Coast. So I'm closer to your time. Now I know what it feels like to have a call at 9 o'clock at night because it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon when it's daytime for me. So if it's 9 o'clock at night, no snoozing, but you can put on your jammies and we won't say anything as long as you don't do it in front of the camera. Okay, here we go. The difference between an accidental leader and a purposeful leader. I want you all to understand there is a significant difference. An accidental leader may have charisma and you think, wow, everybody will follow her or him. That's a fabulous person. But it's the charisma that got them there. The charisma is not sustainable because sometimes other people look at that charismatic individual and say, I'm not like her. I'm not like him. A purposeful leader is someone who has systems, duplicatable systems that others can follow. You're doing things on purpose. And so I'm going to give you some of those ideas around systems, and we're also going to share. And we've got our chat box open. So if something comes up and you want to know something, or you want to ask a question, or you want to share, because there's going to be some times where we're going to share, use that box. And that chat box I listen to, and I see what we can do to take care of you in that box. Okay, so utilize technology to simplify your life. I want to just talk about this for a minute because I was working with a woman and she had a sign on the wall and there were like 25 different programs that she was trying to learn using different technology. I'm going to tell you, you don't need to know them all. You don't have to know them all. Don't think you have to know them all. There's some that will be important for you to utilize and some that are not as important. But guess what? If you take on a few things that will save you time and make you more money, you're going to be in good shape. So we're going to utilize technology but you do not need to be a techno nerd. You don't have to know it all. You don't have to have every bit of information and utilize every bit of technology. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying figure out what it is that you want to do and learn one or two things that are going to save you time, and then add 2 or 3 more over time, but you don't have to do it all at once. So one tool. Now I'm going to tell you, when I first started in direct selling and I was building in the field, we had a family calendar and we had it on the wall, and it was like a month at a glance. And we wrote everything in that calendar of what everybody was doing. So Dane needed to be picked up from basketball, or Grace needed to go get a ride to volleyball. Who was doing what? We have a family picnic on this day, or somebody's coming from out of town on that day, or I have a party on this night, and I have a recruiting interview at this time. It was all on that calendar, and it was dry erase, and people erased the wrong things. It worked. It was okay. But I'm going to tell you, use Google Calendar. With Google Calendar, you can have every member of your family have access to that calendar, and you can do it with your team too. My whole corporate team can see my calendar, so they can see what I'm doing. And you can have personal things, because like I don't want them to know when I'm going to the gynecologist or something. I don't think that's any of their business. But anything that you want to share, you can put it in the business type. And then the personal things you don't have to. But that Google Calendar is good for a whole family. And you know, kids today are getting, younger kids are getting telephones, and they got to learn how to use all the tools that come with them. And if you're not a person that is really good with calendars right now, if you would say that's not your expertise, find a 10-year-old. If you're not good with your telephone, get somebody, a teenager. I'm telling you, they're really good and you will do well with it. And I'm glad, Katie, that you are using Google Calendar and for your whole team. And you can also use, you know, there's other programs around Google that are really good. So look at everything that you can around that. There are scheduling tools that you can use. And Calendly.com is a free app. And what it does, you put it on your signature line and it says, make an appointment with me. And it blocks off anything that you have in your business calendar so they can't double book. Because I can remember doing this, sending out, I'm available on Thursday at 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock. I'm available on Friday at that. And by the time that people got back to me, I wasn't available anymore. They were frustrated. I was frustrated. It didn't work. But that particular tool works well. And if you use it right, now you got to fill in your calendar and do all those things. And Renee says she uses it for her coaching calls. Absolutely. They can go in and sign up for their own appointment. You don't need to chase people around. So it's on the screen here. The tool was called Calendly.com, Calendly.com. And once you start using that, you're going to see how it can simplify your life. And people can also see that you have a full life. Don't ever tell people you're busy. You know, how you doing? Oh, I'm so busy. We don't need to tell people we're busy. We have a full life. There's a very different meaning to having a full life, because a full life is fulfilling. That's a good thing. So Calendly tool will make a difference for you. Let's talk about record keeping for a minute. You know, people in our profession, we are people. We're not necessarily paper people. We're not necessarily spreadsheet people that love to count numbers. That's not maybe our forte. Might be for some of you, but most people it's not. So what we really work to do is find ways to simplify your life. So notice in that lower right-hand corner, there's a new program, new software that we have adopted. They are an alliance partner with us, and it's called Direct Sidekick. And the URL is right down there in that lower right-hand corner in that little square. And that's a little tiny URL. So if you put that thing in your browser, it'll take you right to that page. If for some reason you don't get there, go to dswa.org and then go to About, and then go to Alliance Partner, and then look for Direct Sidekick. I just went through a big demonstration on that product, and I'm so excited because lots of people in our profession wait to the very last month and then try to do all of our accounting. And it's a mess. And we miss things. And it's not the most fun time for your March and April. So this is going to save you a ton of time, and it does a lot of different things. It does accounting, it has some marketing capabilities, and management support. And as a member of DSWA, you get a 20% discount. Go look that up. There's a little demo on that page that you can look at so that you can, try some things out. And if you have any questions at all, you can call them. They're very helpful. The man that founded that, actually, his wife has been a direct seller for many years, and he experienced kind of what she went through, like right before tax season. And he didn't want anybody else to have to do that. So, and he has a strong accounting background, and he has done a very good job at creating this software. You don't need QuickBooks. It's an expensive program, and it's complicated. He's done it exactly to make life easier for us, which I appreciate. Again, a big theme throughout this is how can you simplify your life? We've got so many different things going on. The more we can simplify our life, the less stress that we have, and the more productive we will be. So that's a little bit on record keeping. Now, this is AI technology and some of artificial intelligence. So let's just talk about that for a minute. Artificial intelligence is what's happening right now. There's a lot of things that are going on around that. And some people are afraid of it. I've taken a lot of courses on it, and I love ChatGPT. Up here at the top, this http://chat.openai, artificialintelligence.com, is where you go to find that free app. You don't have to pay for the thing. Just get the free one to start off with. So you sort of learn how to use it. A lot of different capabilities, a lot of different things that you can use it for. Now, it isn't for everything, and you kind of have to check on things. It's not perfect, but boy, does it save time. I've never taken a speech class except in high school and one in college. I had 2 speech classes in my life, and I decided I was going to join Toastmasters, and I'm so excited that I did. And so we have a Toastmasters club in Hawaii that meets at 7:30 in the morning on Wednesdays. That's Hawaii time. So for all you, it'd be a lot later, which would be nice for you. But anyway, so it is fabulous, because if you put into ChatGPT that I'm looking for a speech on this subject, or title for a speech on this subject, it'll print you out 20 different titles that are unique. Or if you said, I am looking for things for table topics, it'll print out a bunch of table topics. It saves you time. So just take a look at it, go there later and figure it out. And I just am so excited about what it does, and it gets to know you. Now, what you put into the bottom of that, they call it the prompt at the bottom, like what you're requesting. The more you've done that, the ChatGPT gets to know you and kind of knows how you think. So you have a persona for yourself, which is a good thing. And then the better you are putting in what you're looking for, the better responses that you get. Now, I'm going to tell you, write this down now because you want to get there. If somebody wants to put this in the chat box for everybody, that would be great. But August the 9th at 9 p.m. Eastern time in the US, there's going to be a free class. And the class that I went to, the man that teaches it, his name is Ron Cahoon. He's worked in Korea for many, many years, and now he lives in Hawaii. And he's an excellent teacher. And he is going to do that class with me, that free class. So you'll get a little bit of exposure to it. So you're going to know what it is. So where do you find the free classes? You go to dswa.org/events. That's where we always post them. And if you're a member, you'll get an invitation to it. But that's where things are. And this one isn't up yet. We're just decided on it, but that's going to be a really good class. Then there's going to be an hour and a half intense class that we're going to do on August the 29th at 8 p.m. Eastern time. And that particular class, there's going to be a small charge for it, but I think it'll really support people. And if you have children that are in college or students, they're going to want to hear what that's about. You'll get the recording from that too. So that's ChatGPT and what all it can do for you. So I don't know if somebody has questions at this stage, but if you do, you can type it in the box and I'll take a look at it. Okay, someone's got to mute themselves in the background because I can't, for some reason, my slides aren't moving and I don't know what that's about. Let's see if I can figure this out. Okay, well, let's see what happens here. So that was ChatGPT. Other helpful technology. There's a lot of things that you can use that can save you time. One that's newer that has come out is Canva, and that's to help you with your social media posts, C-A-N-V-A, Canva. It's an easy methodology to make posts, and it can be free. So again, these are ways to add to your toolbox. There's a free service for that. And of course, Zoom and other things. I'm glad you like Canva, Jamie. It's beautiful images. Because, you just can't go pick images off the internet. People think they can just go steal a picture. That's illegal to do that. So you want to have either paid images or go use Canva, or another one that has free images that you can use. What other things are you using? What other things, technology are you using that you could share with the audience? Because you've all got good ideas of things that I haven't mentioned yet. Someone says here, you can also use photos if you have photos of yourself or your family or your team. So always take pictures wherever you go, to your convention or your classes that you're in, do that. I love Boards app. That's a good one too. Boards, B-O-A-R-D-S. Here's another one, P-I-Z-A-P. I haven't used that one, Melanie, so I don't know what that does, but I might want to go look that back. Project Broadcast. A lot of people are using Project Broadcast to reach everybody now. And again, I think that there's a free one for that too. Do you have a recommendation for free email to mail out for email communications? Gmail's free and a lot of people use that. If you're looking to not get shut down because you're emailing too many things, I don't know if anybody else wants to put in what they're using for that. If your own company doesn't have something, you might want to look beyond that to see what else you could use. Boards is the best. Everybody keeps saying that. Another tool, MailChimp, for surveys and other things. That's a good tool. LaRue says I use Project Broadcast too. It does come with a cost. Do you remember how much that was, LaRue? Please type it in the box if you do. Vonda says for email broadcasts, you can use CONVERT kit, Convert Kit. And it has 1,000 subscribers. So that's pretty good. And that's free. Thank you. What do you use for news to send to every customer and prospect? And LaRue said that other one was $18 a month. Okay, so few of those, aren't much. And by the way, your company probably has some things. You've got to go check that out. Use what your company has first. They've perfected it for you, and they've got some things back in the back office that will make your life simpler. Vibe Cloud for emails. There's another one. Boy, you got to get all these things written down. So if you get this recording afterwards, make sure you get all these written down, because you can start looking them up and see what fits into your needs. You don't have to know everything. Just try a few things. Try one at a time. You don't have to try them all. Just try one at a time till you figure it out. So a lot of good support from all of you on helpful technology. The thing is, I know that some people are afraid of technology. And, when we're more seasoned, we're not old, by the way, when we're more seasoned people, we think technology is scary, but it is what is happening. We got to get up with it and stay ahead of it and be willing to use that. She says Vibe Cloud is for sign-up forms and other kinds of forms like that. June says it is a little scary. You know what? You just step in and try it. And if you're stuck, somebody else will know and somebody else will help you. And most of the companies have a customer service department that will support you too. Good Notes is a great app. You can take photos of handouts and hand write or type notes. You can add photos. There's a lot of things you can do with that. So Good Notes, that was a good one. Thank you, Jen. And Sherry says staying ahead is the hard part. Yeah, you don't have to do it all though. Just pick one or two things and decide. My challenge is to keep a list of all contacts to send email to all at once. So there were several of those programs that have been mentioned so far that will do that for you, but you got to input the contact. And if you're somebody that maybe you're not a very fast typist, maybe you just don't have time for it, there are people that you can find that will do virtual work from home. Put in virtual assistant or ask a leader in your company, who do they use for a virtual assistant? And you can find somebody. In the summertime, you can find a high school girl that's good, pretty good at typing, and she'll do that entering work for you and do it from home. You don't have to have them in your office if that's something that's kind of scary for you. I haven't heard of this one, Be Funky. And somebody says, I use it too. Be Funky. I don't know, what does it do? Type in the box. What does Be Funky do? It sounds like fun to me, though. I use Google Docs to collect info for VIPs and new contacts. Google Docs is good for any person to have, so you're not always mailing something out to people when they lost a form or they lost something. Okay, she says that funky one, Be Funky, is similar to Canva. So that's nice. Here's a thought. It's so overwhelming. Remember, overwhelming is a disempowering phrase. So instead of overwhelming, you have unlimited opportunities. You choose to prioritize. So whenever you catch yourself feeling that overwhelmed, I have unlimited opportunities. I choose to prioritize. Where would I like to begin? You don't have to do it all. Just do something. And Rachel says, I make Google Forms for sample requests. Well, that's good that you do that. Janice says, ideas for how to best communicate with team members to keep them up to date. Some people do VIP groups. Some people just send out a communication or, do Zoom meetings. There's a lot of different choices with that. And Amanda, you are going to get hired as my virtual assistant. She's typing for me tonight. Unlimited opportunities. I choose to prioritize. It's so important. Are training videos okay? Yes, training videos are great. And those of you that are DSWA members, we have thousands of them on our app. So with membership, it's free. Go look at them all. But videos are good because most people are visual learners. Most people are not audio learners. And by the way, why we do our slides this way, it's the best way for people to learn. An interesting picture, a little bit of color, few words. The way we used to do PowerPoints in the past was every word we said was on that screen. You don't do that anymore. You don't do that anymore. It's got to capture their mind and keep them with you so they hear what you're saying. How long should each video last? Thank you, Julietta. 5 to 7 minutes is about it. Sometimes even 3. They're very short. Every one of those Aloha Fridays that we sent out on Friday, no more than 10 minutes, because today's brain is different than it was when I was in elementary school. It's people want instant and don't want to put a lot of time into something. So my upline got me started using Bitly app to shorten links, or that tiny URL. There's other kind of things that you can use to shorten links, links to whatever you're trying to send somebody a link to. Does prioritize mean what works for you? It's what's going to give you the biggest return on investment for your time, Anne. So when we prioritize, every day I ask myself, what are the top 10 things I choose to accomplish today? Or what are the top 5 things I choose to accomplish today? I get my priorities straight, because if you don't have a system for that, you are all over the place, looking at a ton of different things and maybe not getting done what you want to get done. Our group used Messenger to contact and chat with each other. Messenger is a good thing. Not everybody's phone works with Messenger. And by the way, WhatsApp, if you're building internationally, is a great tool. WHATSAPP is another good. Slack for Teams. I found it kind of complicated, Kamika, but I know a lot of people use the Slack app, and I believe it's free too. You can look into that. Genesis, how much is membership? $8.95 a month or $89 a year, so it's inexpensive. Rachel says, do you prefer Bitly over tinyURL, or rather than tinyURL? I've never used Bitly. I've only used tinyURL. So you'd have to check that yourself. So you are a bundle of knowledge. I love working with you because you all had a ton of different things that you're utilizing to make your business run more smoothly so that you don't have a lot of time wasted. That's not going to do you any good. So this is just a life lesson. Don't sweat the small stuff. Stop majoring in the minor things. Stop thinking you have to know everything. Stop thinking that you don't understand or know technology. I'm not good enough because I don't have every single little bell and whistle on my computer. What's most important in this business is how you relate to people, how you build relationships. It's not that you have every bit of technology down flat. It's that you relate to people and you take time for people. So when you're majoring in the minor things, you're thinking that everything needs to be just so perfect. And if you are a perfectionist, you're never going to feel like you're enough. And if you are a perfectionist, the people around you are never going to feel like they're enough. So let go of perfection and what is good enough. You don't have to be the best at everything, and you don't have to do it all. So sometimes we take up a lot of mental space with the things that aren't really going to matter in our lives, the things that aren't going to really matter to our team. So it's interesting. Julietta says, what program do you use to edit videos? I actually have other people that do that for me, so I don't, but somebody else may have a software that you use to edit videos. And you know what? This is the thing about videos today. When you're doing things live or you're doing, putting things out on Facebook, nobody expects you to be perfect. They really don't. It's more natural style now. In the beginning, when we first started doing videos, you had a set, you had lights, everything was edited, you had all these fancy backgrounds. We spent all this money on all this stuff and time, and really, they just want to know you. They just want to know who you are. And, you can do a background, like my background is just a simple background that anybody can make your own background, make the name of your company or whatever you want. I just had people distracted with my background because I was always in different places. And like if I was on my bookshelf, people would say, what book is that third one down on the left? It looks interesting. I don't want you reading my books. I mean, looking at that, I'll tell you what books I read, but that's going to be a distraction. You got to keep people focused, especially when you're on Zoom or using technology like this. Amanda says, yes, it looks too hard for others watching you. They'll think they can't do it. So focus on the basics. Simple, make it simple. It's like double Dutch jump rope. It keeps skipping until you jump in. Yeah, it'll just keep going. So just do it and see where you go. Microsoft Clipchamp is a good video editing program. I love that. Somebody write that down for me because I don't think I have that one. You want to keep the people focused. We've got a lot of good comments going on in the box. iMovie on Mac is free for videos and is easy to use. iMovie. And I love my Mac. When I first got my Mac, the person that was going to teach me how to use it took off. She left. She moved to another country. And I was by myself. And I thought, oh, this is awful. I love the Mac store and the Apple store. You can call them and they never make you feel like a dummy. But I went into that store this first time and I just said, I just want you to know, I really don't like this computer. And, I have this insurance on it. So if we can't figure this out today, I'm just going to go out in the parking lot and run it over and then back up one more time and then go over it one more time. And it'll be in pieces. Then I'll bring it in and say, I want to turn this thing in. But the guy was so good. I told his boss, this guy deserves a raise. So you can learn these things. You can, I promise you, you can learn them. And don't be so hard on yourself, because I think some people think, what's wrong with me that I'm not getting this fast enough? There's no speed to anything. It's just what it is for you. Take the time to learn and take the time to focus. Just one other thing. This is a very simple use of technology. It's called silence on your cell phone. Silence the phone and don't answer it every time it rings. How do you ever have time to think? You don't. And it takes your brain a minimum of 20 minutes to get back to the same level of elevated thinking once you've had an interruption. So there's something on an iPhone called Focus. I live in Hawaii, and so my phone would start ringing at 2 a.m. and I was up, and then I just turned that thing off at night and put it on silent. And it was great. Don't be afraid to use that do not disturb. It's a good thing. And so this is why I can't clean when my kids or husband are home. Okay, too many interruptions. Everybody needs something. And you can schedule your do not disturb for weekdays or weekends or these hours of the day. It's a good thing. If you don't know how to do it, call. If you have an Apple phone, call Apple Care. They're wonderful and they will be happy to help you and they'll love you because they love people using their tools. All right. So everyone, this is something for you to begin practicing. Self-coaching. Here's the question. I don't know why that got cut off. It wasn't cut off when I looked at it before, but how can I simplify my life? That's a great question for you to ask yourself. How can I simplify my life? Let me give you another one. What can I release? What can I let go of? Who can I release? Who can I let go of? Because sometimes we have people that drive us nuts and we hang on to them forever. Release, let it go out in the universe. How important is this situation or this thing in the rest of my life? Those are really good self-coaching questions because you're majoring in the minor things. I'm telling you, it is sucking your energy dry. So practice self-coaching, get good at honoring yourself. And that is my motto for this whole year. How can I simplify my life? How can I simplify my life? And there's lots of ways to simplify your life. And that's, not sweating the small stuff. So I hope that you take that one home as the major piece of what we're talking about tonight. So this person says, okay, this one is hard. Simplifying life is not easy. Well, it really depends. What one thing could I do this week that would simplify my life? I'll just give you a hint. When your dryer buzzer goes off, you don't need to rescue those clothes. Nobody ever died of a wrinkle, I promise you. And so you don't have constant interruptions. Block some of that stuff out so that you can just be present where you are and with whoever you're with. Set your regular expenses up on autopay is a great way. I love autopay until your credit card gets compromised. That's a little problem. I just had that happen, but that is what it was. I feel like simple is lacking control. Is it? Explain that to me. Amanda, I want to hear what you exactly mean about that. Unmute yourself, please.
Nikki, that's not me. I there's two things in there that are typed as if I typed them, but I didn't type them. So I don't know if someone's accent. Oh, it's Maisie. Oh, because Maisie couldn't find the link. So I sent her my link. So she's coming up typing as me.
Okay, so Maisie, what is it that you feel like simple is lacking control? Tell me what that means. You have to unmute. I don't know if you typed it down here. I don't see it. I'm not sure what she means. I'll tell you what, your life will be out of control if you don't simplify it. Have you ever seen a hamster in one of those little balls? They go, and they like keep going round and round and round in circles, but they don't go anywhere. That's what it feels like after a while. You're running and you're busy and not majoring in the minor. You're majoring in the minor things, not majoring in the major leagues. So simplifying your life gets rid of things that really don't matter, and tools and process that will save you time. Autopay, I love autopay. First thing my therapist had me do to automate my bills. I'm going to tell you something. It keeps you without that stress of stopping what you're doing. I got to put in my calendar that this bill is due or that bill is due. Let your bank do it for you. They all do it. Oh, I'm glad you like Nobody Ever Died of a Wrinkle. The dryer can wait. That's good. That is me, Maisie. Thank you. Because we shared the link. Hi, Amanda. I feel like if I can't get it all done, I am not. I feel like if I can't get it all done, I am not in control. Well, first of all, you have zero control over a lot of things in your life. And if you're wanting to control things where you have no control, you're the one that's out of control. So what do you really have control over? You have control over yourself, what you think, what you say, what you do. People make major to-do lists with 100 items on that to-do list, and there is no way that you're going to get those 100 items that day. And at the end of the day, you're disappointed because you didn't get them all done. Get a reasonable number. And sometimes you can just get them on the paper and then go back and number them 1, 2, 3 after they're on the paper, because you don't think in order. But logistically, this is the best way to do it. I put my life on the easy button. Simplify life is a game changer. And that easy button, I love that easy button. I wore mine out, but they used to have it at Staples. I don't know if they still do, but it was a button that said easy, and you just hit that button and it says, that's easy. That was a good thing to put. Yes, you describe me, Amanda. Okay, good. That's how I feel. When we feel like things are out of control. The thing is, if you are feeling things are out of control, you're also feeling out of control. Be really careful with that. Focus on the things you have control over and let some of the other stuff go. Block scheduling is a great way to save time too. In your calendar, you block off times for making phone calls. You block off times for calling for hostess. You block off time. So you can do it in color coding. If you're in control of your calendar, so you got to take the time to put those things in there. I have everything in my calendar. I don't try to remember anything. It's all in there. When you spread yourself out, you spread yourself thin. When you, God, we have words of, that was from you, Hannah. I'm so glad that you're here. Yeah, you're right. You spread yourself out too far. You are spreading yourself thin, and you will not have as much energy, and you definitely will not have as much joy. Be very careful. Everybody look straight at me right now. Look in the camera. And I want you to say no. Ready, set, no. Try it again. Ready, set, no. Nobody's going to die when you say no to something. You don't have to bake the cookies for the bake sale. You don't have to be the room mother. You don't have to be teaching Sunday school. All of these things because you think you got to be everything to everybody. There's, the word yes is, there's some people that just have a very tough time saying no. I got really good at that because for some reason, when we're doing direct selling, people seem to think that we don't really work. We don't have a real job. So we have all this time in the world. No, you are the CEO, the general manager of your own company. You are working at this business. So yes, you have control of your time, but not when you're saying yes to everybody. So I learned to say no. You know, Nikki, could you be the room mother again? I remember when my kids were in elementary school, I was the room mother years. And then I decided, I keep giving and they keep taking. So I went back and I said, thank you so much for asking. I'm really honored that you feel I could do a good job with that. And there are lots of other people that are in our company or that are in this class that have never got to be a room mother. So which one of those would be your next choice? And I let it go because I used to feel bad when I said no. And then I felt good because I gave somebody else an opportunity. So self-coaching is a part of this, and let go and stop thinking you have to say yes to everything. So I'm going to wrap things up, and I've got 20 some messages that I haven't read yet, but I want to go back into a full screen. So I want to tell you tonight, because I want to make sure I save time for questions or coaching or whatever we've got here, but I'm inviting you to join the Alliance, because let me tell you something about this organization. We've been here 20 some years. We care about people. We care about the people in this profession. And we have lots of things, tools and support for you. So discounts on world-class training, members only weekly content that comes out on the DSWA app. You get a new social media post, you get a new article that you can pass on to your team. You get a new video every week that comes to you. There's invites. We do a mastermind session. I hope you all, if you're a member of DSWA and you haven't been on that mastermind that takes place every month, that you get on that, because it will save you a lot of stress and time, and you get a lot of individual attention on there. So make sure you do that. There's monthly training opportunities, there's group discounts, there's insurance, dental, medical, prescription insurance, all of those different kinds of things. So, and then some of the things I told you that were new tonight, we brought in that whole Sidekick, the direct Sidekick, which is the accounting software. And there's several other new things that are coming down the pike. So you want to make sure you look at that. That's the place you go to, dswa.org/membership, and you'll see. Here's how you connect with our online community. Free newsletter, just sign up for it. It's at the top of at the page, or you can type in that URL, take that picture if you want to catch all this, or get it off the recording. Facebook. I really want to be your friend on Facebook. I just can't be at Nikki Keohoho. So I started a new one, N Keohoho, that's the spelling. And I'd be happy to have you on that business page. I can have it unlimited. So all the DSWA members, this is the Facebook page for you to be going, so that you can get and share best practices and ideas and hear from other people. We do have an Instagram. We have a YouTube that has a lot of training. And for some of you, this is the first time you've been on our training. First time I've ever seen you. So I'm excited that you are here with us. So I'm going to stop this share, and I'm going to answer some of these questions that have 23 new messages. We got a few. Be intentional with your time by using timers. 10 minutes for this activity, and only that activity. And by the way, when you tell your children, I'll be just a minute, don't tell them it's going to be just a minute. Tell them I'll be finished in 6 minutes, and set your timer and be done in 6 minutes. They don't know what a minute is. If we keep telling them just a minute, and it's not there. So be intentional with your time. Have a box of toys up in the closet that you only bring down when you're doing special things, when you're working, so that they get to do them for that special time. Alarms on the phone, I set them all day long for every appointment I have, so I make sure I get on to the next one. I have used old-fashioned sand hour glasses. That's true, because they're quiet. When you just turn it over and all the sand's gone. The thing is that sometimes I can avoid that, or I don't notice it because it's not making noise. It's hard to notice. Beep, beep, beep. You kind of hear that and you have to do it. As soon as the dryer goes off, I feel the clothes need to come out and get them folded. But you're right. Nobody will die of a wrinkle. It's okay. If there's things that are highly wrinkleable, is that a real word? Wrinkleable? If they are highly in a wad, Do those at a time when you know you're not going to have an interruption, and it'll be much easier for you. Jamie says, I usually try to do all appointments on Monday, Wednesday, so Thursday and Friday are free or less busy. Well, that's good. So she gets, when she's going out and about, she tracks where she's going and she has people come to her. Another thing, when you're holding these sponsoring appointments, let people come to you, folks. You can meet at one coffee shop or one place and let them come to you. You're driving all over the place. A lot of time being used and a lot of gas. Oftentimes achievement takes subtraction, not addition. That's a good, Hannah, you've got all these little one-liners tonight. That is so good. Rachel says, I have a tough time accepting help. Okay, it's called support. You are not helpless. Let people support you that want to support you. And there are lots of people that would be glad to. If we don't let people know that I have an opportunity for someone to take on this role at my next meeting, and I really would appreciate the support of anybody. They want to do that. But when we don't ask for support, they think they're going to have to do it all themselves too. So we're setting them up to fail. Not a good thing. Yes, when you say yes to something, it means you're saying no to something else. Very true. Ask, if I say yes to this, what am I saying no to? I practiced that a long time, Renee. I'm glad you grabbed that. Self-care, prioritizing my business, time with my family, time to do the things that are important to me. You know, time goes by so fast. And, you know, people look back and say, what happened? I don't want to be one of those. I want to love my life now and live my life to the fullest. And I want that for all of you too. Elliot taught me to tell myself, I can't be all things to all people all the time. There's something about that we think we're going to disappoint people. You know what? You can't be everything to everybody. What are your priorities in your life? And when you do something too long, too hard, and you burn out, then you haven't got anything left for anybody. And that's not good either. And no is a complete sentence too. You don't have to explain it. It's a complete sentence. That's it. No, thank you. That's fine. That's been hard to do, something to work on for most women in particularly. I make my bed every morning. If nothing else, I got one thing that doesn't that feel good? You make your bed, at least some place in your house is sort of clean and looks good. It's just a sense of accomplishment. And you know what? At the end of the day, what were the most important things that I accomplished today? You know, instead of what did I not get done? Why did I not do that? Those things aren't going to serve you, folks. That whole self-coaching thing, which we teach in the coach school, is a critical component to self-care. My bed gets made every day. Good for you. You get your first task done and done well. Then you start your day with success. And I'm sorry, Nina, you had to run, but we were glad you were here with us today. Thank you for making me feel human. You are normal. And we all deal with the same things in life. Everybody does. It doesn't mean that you're broken or there's nothing, that there's something wrong with you. We just, and sometimes we follow the pattern that our mom said. If your mom was one that did it all, I used to teach a class how to do it all and stay sane. And then I thought, well, that's stupid. I don't want to teach people that they need to do it all. I don't know what I was thinking. And I stopped teaching that class because you don't have to do it all. Do what brings you joy. Do what increases your income. Do what can support you and your family. You can say no to a lot of things and be okay with that. I don't feel like I can simplify my life. I'm a mom of 4 boys. That's always chaos here. So I'm going to ask you, what can you do to have less chaos? That might be, and to have more joy. Just have more joy. What can I let go of? You know, I was just with my nephews, 4 little girls, a set of twins that are 3, one that is 5, one that is 6, and my nephew. No, they're 6, 5, 4, 3. I mean, it was a herd. And we were doing our pictures out in this field, and we had new shoes on, dresses, and just trying to hold everybody so that we didn't look like we'd run through a rat hole by the time the pictures came through. And it was like crazy. And then I thought, you know what? They're kids. It's okay. If they have a scuffed shoe, they're not going to see that in the picture. They're going to see these kids happy. So sometimes you just got to let go of some things. Can you have a teenager help you as a mommy helper? I have 2 boys, 18 and 20 now, but when they were young, I did this and it was so helpful. And you can pay your children through your business and put it into a college fund for them. Ask your accountant. You want to have an accountant that is good with direct selling, understands our business. And there's one on our website and the Alliance Partners, Jody. He's a simple guy that just makes it easy for you. You don't have to know everything. He just gives you hints to support how you run your business. I have a 13-year-old now that helps me. I'm also an MS patient that is in a wheelchair due to a spinal cord injury. It's really hard to feel this way. They are 13, 12, 9, and 7 now. So it's just a lot. You know what? There will always be a lot. There will always be a lot. There will always be more that we could be doing. And some of it maybe isn't as important as we think it is. Those kids are going to know when you put in time with them. They maybe aren't going to notice that your kitchen floor is a little dirty. But if you played, I'm the old maid queen. I play old maid with my grandbabies, and they just love it. They can't wait. They come over. They want to play old maid. Okay, so is that productive? Probably not, but it'll be a memory that they'll have forever. And thumb wars. I taught my niece and nephew how to do a thumb war. You don't need anything just to have a thumb war. You could be sitting in the car and do a thumb war. And if you don't know how to do it, I'll teach you. But 1, 2, 3, 4. I declare thumb war. 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to win and celebrate. And we just have fun with it. It's okay. Let's take a few minutes just to play. That's what makes life easy. What are some other examples of using ChatGPT? Any kind of research. If you want to know, what's happening in the gig economy, you could probably put that in there and give you a bunch of stuff and tell you what's there. Need a training for your team? That's ChatGPT. Very good. A paper or a letter well written or an agreement with somebody. It has everything. It's worth learning how to do it. It'll save you time and money. Nina says, drop in 2 ice cubes in the dryer and set it for 5 minutes. All wrinkles go away. I did not know that, Nina. Good to know. We all learned something new today. And now when you work best and are most efficient and focused, I work best first thing in the morning. You've got to decide. Some people say I'm a night owl and I book a lot of things after midnight. You can do it maybe for so long. We need our sleep, folks. We've got to have sleep to have our brain operate properly. And we got to take care of our brains. They got to last a long time. Don't chase people down. Very good, Hannah. Mary says, I throw in a wet washcloth in the dryer and it helps the steam the wrinkles out. Very good. LaRue says, you can even be specific with the tone of what you are asking for. Very true. Thanks. This is so fascinating. I'm glad it was fascinating for you. Coach School has transformed you. Thank you, Amanda. Coach School makes you think differently. You can find, we have one right now. I got my second night tomorrow night. And even if you want to start late, you could do that. Just go to dswa.org/events and you'll see when we offer those. We're going to do an advanced school in August. Jody Tiernan is awesome. I'm so glad, Jackie, that you're using him. He's a wonderful man and a great accountant. June says, loved when my grandchildren were living near me, but they would always help me. Boy, do I miss them. It teaches them responsibility. We teach children how to be in the world, taking on pieces, taking on chores. And, My son did a yard sale recently, and the girls had a sign and it said yard sale, and they stood out on the street and they pointed and they danced and had music. I mean, they got used to being in front of people. And then they helped set up and tear down, and they made money. They sold their own stuff and some of our stuff. So you're teaching them how to show up in the world. Can you address the difference between being busy and being productive? Yes, being busy is you're utilizing time without any results. That's why I invest time. I don't spend time. When you invest time, you get a return on your investment. It's productive. When you spend time, you've lost it and it's gone and there's nothing to show for it. And many times we spend time without even realize that we're doing it. And she says that was hugely eye-opening when I first got started. It seemed like I was doing so much work, but most of it was not producing income. That's why you ask yourself every day, what is an income producing activity? What am I investing my time in? IPAs, income producing activities. What is my DMO, daily mode of operation? What do I do every day to get results? So excited for Advanced. Me too, Renee, glad you're coming. Thank you for the amazing info. Thank you. We as a wife, mom, grandma, aunt, whatever, we have to take times for ourselves. It's not always for everybody else. Time to think. Time to just sit and be. Time to enjoy beauty around us. It's that hamster in the wheel. And, you know, it is not a pretty sight. It's not pretty. So if you don't want to be a hamster in a wheel, decide, what am I going to use my time today? How am I going to maximize my moments? That's another good thing to ask yourself. How can I maximize my moments today? And you don't need to be there for every call that your team has. Set up coaching calls with people so that they're not calling you every single day about stuff that could have been handled with one coaching call a month. Hi, it is Maisie. My downline and I are just talking about this. That's good. This is a difficult thing. It can be difficult. So how can you make it easier? I know that self-coaching is a real key to getting results in life. Asking yourself better questions. Instead of saying, why am I so exhausted? How can I get some energy right now? Learning those skills will make a huge, huge difference. It truly is. I am one to stay up all night, and I am a no-go to my family the rest of the day. Trying very hard to change that. So how can you manage your time more effectively? Where are you going to block off time and block off time for your family? You know, where is that? Is it on Saturday? Is it on a Friday night? I don't know when it is, but where do you block off time? And block off time for your husband, your partner. You know, date nights are important, folks. They really are. I think we forgot ourselves till the house is quiet, and then we are up so late, and the next day is blah. It's very true. Sleep is important. We've got to rejuvenate ourselves. Invest or spend, good point. I feel I'm always busy and never get anything done. That hamster in the wheel is not a good feeling. Notice when you get anything done, when you make progress. Celebrate progress. Today, I got 3 names. I got 3 new customers entered into my database. 3. I'm really excited that I did that. Notice things that you celebrate. And Amanda says, Maisie is not Amanda. I got it. This person says, that's what's going on. That's what going to Hawaii is for me. Or camping in the backyard or on a bike. I'm so glad, and I'm glad you love Hawaii. It's a freeing place to be, very spiritual. I want to get better at self-coaching. There's a great CD on our website. That's what it's called, self-coaching. You'll learn from that. I sure needed this, Amy Fox. Thank you so much. I went overtime tonight and I stayed with you, and I had a lot of good notes that came in here. I am so glad that you were here. I'm so glad that you decided that this was something that would make a difference for you. This is just a start for you. There's so much more that you can learn. It's important to take time for you, to educate yourself, to keep learning and growing. And remember, you don't have to know everything. Just learn something, any new thing. And school is never out for anybody that's a leader. You have a lifetime of learning. You know, I have so many people that say, Nikki, why do you attend the whole seminar? When you go to teach at a convention, why do you stay in there the whole time? Well, because I'm learning. I want to learn from everybody. And I can be of greater service to the people at that conference when I understand their culture better. So I am a student. I'm reading multiple books at one time. I listen to multiple podcasts. You got to take time. That's got to be a block. When is my fill my cup time? Fill your own cup. You can't pour into anybody else if you're not taking care of you. And I will try to leave the clothes in the dryer and not have to jump up and rescue them. I'm so excited. That was a good finishing note. So thank you, everybody, for being with us. I loved having you all here tonight. And you stuck it out to the bitter end, and I get to see most of you. I'm so excited about that too. And some of you showed up that were in the class that I taught in Atlanta on Saturday. So I recognize your faces, and I'm happy about that. And I'm looking forward to seeing people Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday at the convention I'm going to. And if you're with that company, please come up and tell me you were on this class and let me know, because I want to say hi to you. So thanks again, everyone, and have a blessed evening. Take care of you and take time for you and love your life. Live a life you love. It's never too late to start now. Take care, everyone. Good night.
All right. Thank